Hi, my name is Laura Blair. I'm the tech coach for the middle school at AISC, and this is my Course 5 movie. Let me give you a little history on the ePortfolio program here at AISC. AISC has had ePortfolios for a very long time. Back in the day, we used to do them on Google Sites, and every year the kids would have a new template and they would have different sections for each subject. It was a static site, and as we evaluated the program, we decided to switch to blog-based ePortfolios on Blogger. Blogs, in my opinion, are the way to go for ePortfolios. It gives the students more choice, and you can easily track growth. Our ePortfolios went from being artifact-based to reflection-based, and this is when I became really passionate about the program, because I believe reflection is a critical part of the learning process. I had many goals for this project. The number one goal was to get students pumped about the ePortfolio program. I wanted students to start reading and commenting on each other's blogs. I wanted to give students a more authentic audience by making blogs public. I also wanted to get their parents and relatives involved in reading and commenting on their blogs. I wanted to promote our first annual STEM Fest to a global audience by maximizing social media. And I also wanted our students that participated in the STEM Fest to get instant feedback from people that saw their project by using some kind of technology. But my administration had a couple concerns. They felt that middle schoolers weren't mature enough to have public-facing blogs. So I got my brain in gear and I came up with 3 ideas: Blogging Buddies, Parents, Grandparents, and Relatives Commenting Initiative, and Ryan Sager asked me to promote the first annual AISC STEM Fest here. Students were going to use their ePortfolio to document their STEM Fest project. So I decided to pair up 6th graders with 8th graders that were doing similar projects. I was hoping that paired up students would get ideas from each other and comment on each other's blogs. Another part of my plan was the Family Commenting Initiative was an attempt to involve the parents and relatives, some of them that might live far away, in our students' ePortfolios and their learning process. I had the most success in my last goal, which was promoting the AISC first annual STEM Fest using social media. And this project really allowed me to explore using social media to get a global audience. I used a ton of technology in this project. I used Google Forms for the Blogging Buddies and the Family Commenting Initiative. I also used Google Presentations to prepare presentations for both of those. I used FormMule to send out automated emails for both of those programs, and Form Publisher so that Blogging Buddies would know who their blogging buddy would be. I used Weebly, YouTube, GoAnimate, Vine, Instagram, but most of all, I used Twitter. I used Weebly to build the site for the STEM Fest. I used it to promote it and also showcase the work that students were doing in preparing for the STEM Fest. The site was shared out with parents before the STEM Fest, and they were directed to download QR code readers on their mobile devices in order to access the student ePortfolios and evaluation forms. So my plan was to use the Vine app to record the student STEM Festival demonstrations and then have those Vine clips automatically upload to Twitter. I couldn't have done this without my amazing AISC tech team.
Ms. Laura had set up all the accounts on Twitter and Vine. During the STEM Fest, we used the Twitter, and even we did the video recording on Vine, and that's the first time I used the Vine and the Twitter.
So on the day of the STEM Fest, Vine videos were being taken of each demonstration and broadcast to the world through Vine and Twitter. All these tweets were retweeted so that they would appear on the AIS Chennai Twitter feed. On that day, we tweeted more than we had ever as a school, and we increased our Twitter followers by a third. Students and other visitors to the STEM Fest even used their mobile devices to read the QR codes that went to the student e-portfolios and the feedback form. This success made me feel a little bit better about the failures that I had with the Blogging Buddies program and the Family Commenting Initiative. Despite all my efforts to encourage commenting, it was really difficult to motivate the students to comment on each other's blogs. And the parents weren't commenting either, even the notorious helicopter parents. Maybe everyone was just too busy. Whatever the reason, this is what I would do differently next time. I would start all of these blog commenting initiatives at the beginning of the year. I would encourage teachers to be more invested in the ePortfolio program and to actually read and comment on their students' ePortfolio posts. I could do this by giving more trainings to the teachers. Next time I plan to ask the kids what would motivate them more. I think that would be great information to have. Doing a little research about motivation might also be helpful. Tweeting out great student posts seemed to work well. I would definitely do this more. And to prepare my middle school students to have public-facing blogs, I would focus on digital citizenship starting from the very beginning of the year. I learned many things in the course of doing this project, but one of the main things that I realized is that motivating students is an art. It's really a challenge. As I was researching motivation, I found this great YouTube movie that summarizes what research says about intrinsic motivation. Students need to perceive choice. Consequences drive motivation. Students and teachers need to feel competent, and there needs to be some kind of community. Another huge takeaway for me was the power of Twitter and how it increased my personal learning network. I went from 0 followers in October to over 700 followers now. As a last attempt to increase motivation around blogging, I asked a couple students if I could tweet out their blogs. Most of the students emailed me back and were fine with me sharing out their blogs. Some of them even got comments. Giving my students a global audience is also how I reached the redefinition level of the SAMR model. Though my project didn't work out exactly as planned, I learned a lot. And as a tech coach, I increased awareness around the ePortfolio program, and I also promoted our first annual STEM Fest to a global audience. So I think it was a success.